Hello and welcome back to Dragonflower Gardens. Today we're talking about the inbound shortage on tomatoes. We're going to go ahead and take a look at where tomatoes are grown the most here in the US and how that's going to affect us. So today says that tomato and tomato-based products are under threat due to drought. Why the U.S. may be facing a tomato shortage. Bloomberg writes that the price of certain tomato products have raised by 80% since last year. 80%. So in 2022, I was buying a can of tomato sauce like so, like for one family. You catch that on sale for 89 cents or so, and you're all excited. You're like, woo, I'm gonna get a bunch of those. So I go to the store the other day and I look at it and it's like 2 something. So I can concur that in real time. Farmers warn ketchup, salsa, and other tomato products could soon be in short supply. This month, so all this stuff that just happened that we're talking about was in August of 2022. Tomato farmers are finding their yields in danger as California faces its worst drought in over a millennium. In fact, according to the research study in the Environmental Journal of Nature, the time period of 2000 to 2021 was the driest 21-year period since at least 1,200 years ago. Let's remember that 1,200-year cycle. That's right. The last time the West Coast was this dry was in the year 800. During the highest of the season, California's tomato growers can produce this gigantic number with 2,000 pounds of tomatoes per a week. To put that into perspective, that is 40,000 tomato trucks, each carrying 300,000 tomatoes. Wow, that's a lot. Tomatoes brought 1.71 billion to California in 2015. The state products more than 90% of the nation's production of tomatoes. 90%. 90% comes from California? 90% of our tomato production comes from California. And they had a drought? Okay, if they do 90% here in the US, what is that on the global market? California's tomato production counts for 40% of the global tomato production. Wow. So that's going to affect a lot of things coming up because we eat last year's harvest and then they process it and then we'll be eating it next year. So when this hits the shelf or doesn't hit the shelf, we're going to not be seeing things like tomato sauce, ketchup, salsa. Yes. Seems to be affecting the fresh produce getting to restaurants too, like Subway, McDonald's, pizza restaurants. All of these places are posting different things that are saying they're not having fresh tomatoes or they're low on pizza sauces or pasta sauces. Lots of things that have to do with tomatoes. What we're looking at right here is the national drought chart for California, May 17th, 2022. So that dark area, that's where it really got hit bad. And guess what they're growing right there? Can anyone else guess? Is it tomatoes? Avocados? Almonds? Yeah, California is a powerhouse when it comes to our food production. This one here we're looking at is the fertilizer price index. The last time we saw a price increase spike was in the recession of 2008. The fertilizer is important for high yields with plants that are big nitrogen feeders, such as tomatoes and corn, etc. These are all my notes. I had to write it down. Okay, so what we're looking at right here is the 2022 California Processing Tomato Report. The tomato production over the fertilizer year from 2017 to 2022 of this year, we are tracking and looking at the dark charcoal line. That's the spike right there. That's what we're taking a look at right there. That's how much production they have counted this year so far. And you can see the other ones will tell you the other years. Okay, so we're still in the physical third quarter, because third quarter is July, August, and September. So we're not at the end of September, so we don't have the third quarter report that's going to tell us how much they actually yielded at the end of the growing season to know exactly how much has been affected with the tomatoes not getting the fertilizer they would need in that monoculture and getting enough water. So they need lots of sunlight and lots of fertilizer and lots of water. And we really like our tomatoes, so that takes a lot to grow them. They don't just show up on the shelf. And this is kind of letting us know that it's not going to be on the shelf. So we'll take this opportunity to go ahead and finish canning anything that we can. Go ahead and talk to our local farmers if they have any tomatoes left. We're at the end of the season. Grab that up in bulk from someone local. Get to canning that. Get to making salsas, ketchups. Surprise me. Alright, what comes up next is we're going out to one of those local farms. And we're going to go talk to a farmer and talk to them about how their tomato yield was. So it seems like the growing season has been rocky for a lot of us. And it has been changing. We started out real wet and cold and spiked really, really hot, which is not exactly common for this area, but really good for tomatoes. So if you're interested on that, go ahead and hit the notification bell and make sure that you're subscribed, and we'll see you next time on Dragonflower Gardens. And remember, keep on